Hi everyone, happy Friday. Here's some of what's heading your way tonight. Your news at 9, a man is dead after a fire in Joplin. Officials still investigating this incident.
More than 330 active coronavirus cases in the city of Joplin, with 300 of those coming from the last 7 days. I'm Chris Warner. We'll break down the numbers.
The state of Missouri is set to receive more than 300,000 COVID-19 vaccines by the end of the year. I'm Zach Dodge with a look at distribution coming up.
Health officials reduced the required quarantine time for COVID-19. I'm Kate Kelly with how my nephew feels about having to spend less time stuck inside.
Doug Kenny has weather tonight. Jacob Leonard has sports. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Abbey. The Kansas State Highway Patrol says a car theft suspect crashed in Pittsburgh after leading police on a chase. Highway Patrol says a trooper was trying to pull over the suspect in the stolen vehicle on 126th Highway in Crawford County, but she didn't stop, obviously. The chase ended at 21st and Joplin in Pittsburgh when the suspect's car rolled over after hitting a curb. Officials say no one was hurt. Pittsburgh police are looking for a man who robbed a convenience store at gunpoint just before 5 this morning. Police say he wore a face covering and stocking cap into the snack attack on East 4th Street, showed the clerk a handgun, then demanded cash. Officials say no one was hurt. Nevada, Missouri Police Department is asking for the public's help identifying the man in this photo. Police say he is a suspect in an armed robbery this evening of the community pharmacy in Nevada. Anyone with information is being asked to call the Nevada Police Department. Joppa police investigate a house fire that killed a man. Joplin Fire Department earlier this morning responded to a house fire at 1730 South Pitcher. Firefighters entered the house, were able to find and remove 68-year-old David Crowder. 2 females had already escaped the house. All 3 were taken to the hospital where Crowder later passed away, and one of the females was listed in critical condition. JPD and fire officials are investigating this fire. Coronavirus cases numbers are beginning to increase in the 4 states after the Thanksgiving holiday. They were on a decrease before Thanksgiving. That's not the case now, officials say. KOAM's Chris Warner spoke with the Joplin Health Department about what they're seeing in the city.
The latest numbers Friday in Joplin show 334 active cases in the city, with 306 of those coming from the last 7 days. So we spoke with Devin Blankenship, the assistant director of the city's health department, to find out if these numbers could be coming from the Thanksgiving holiday.
It's hard to say right now. An incubation period, so if someone was exposed on Thanksgiving Day, they could come down with coronavirus anywhere from that Saturday to December 11th. So we're kind of still in the incubation cycle to see the true effects of what Thanksgiving was.
Even if the numbers aren't directly related to the holiday, they are beginning to rise.
Yeah, it certainly seems like we were trending down prior to Thanksgiving. Now, whether or not this is just an anomaly or whether we're truly seeing an uptick or an upsurge in cases, we have yet to see for sure. But there is concern there, absolutely.
In addition to an increase in active cases in the city, the demand for testing has gone up.
There could be just some other factors contributing to COVID-like symptoms. So, you know, if we've got flu starting to come up in the community or colds, those things would also be driving people to maybe get tested for COVID.
As for pinpointing where the cases are coming from, Blankenship says it doesn't seem to be coming from family groups.
So as far as I know, what I'm hearing is just a lot of community transmission. Just seems to be a lot of unrelated folks, as far as we can tell, that are coming down with COVID-19.
In Joplin, Chris Warner, KOAM News.
Remember to find the latest coronavirus numbers for your area. Just go to KOAMnewsnow.com, then click on the coronavirus link at the top of the page. Joplin Health Department is reporting 2 more coronavirus-related deaths. Officials say the patients were men, ages 73, also 91. This brings Joplin's total death count to 68. Newton County Health Department reports 3 more deaths, bringing their total to 52. The patients were 2 women, one in her 60s, one in her 90s, and a man in his 70s. Health departments across the country are updating their guidance on how long to quarantine based on new data from the CDC. KOAM's Kate Kelly spoke with her sister's family about why they're eager to be given the all clear sooner rather than later.
This is my nephew's room, and he's spending a lot of extra time here after testing positive for COVID-19. He got tested after his foster siblings were exposed. So far, he's asymptomatic.
My mom keeps taking my temperature, and I've yet to have a fever.
Kobe couldn't believe he had COVID. He says he's still feeling just fine, but that's what worries him about the coronavirus, how it can spread undetected. The health department advised him to stay in his room and away from everyone else as much as possible, since he's the only one in the household who tested positive.
Yeah, it is a little different. It's a little weird having to wear a mask leaving your room. It's a little different feeling. But it's not too hard with like technology and everything. I just FaceTime my mom, ask her to give me a drink or something.
My sister is working from home, monitoring Kobe and trying to keep her 3 foster kids, ages 6, 3, and 2, all entertained. Fortunately for her, the health department says she and the kids only need to quarantine for a total of 10 days rather than 14.
A 10-day quarantine mitigates most of the risk. It's not all of the risk. There's still a tiny percentage of folks that can get that, come down symptomatic from day 11 to 14, but 10 days gets the vast majority of the people. So that's the new quarantine timeline, 10 days from last exposure. There's also another nuanced option of potentially coming out of quarantine on day 7. But to come off of quarantine on day 7, you have to have a negative test result.
The reduced quarantine time might just save my sister's sanity.
She's ready to go back. The kids are wreaking havoc. They're all over the place.
Kobe says it's important for everyone to take this pandemic seriously. He worries about getting his mom and foster siblings sick, and he's also getting tired of living in his room.
It's awful. I do not recommend this. I recommend everyone wear a mask. Everyone stay 6 feet apart.
In Joplin, Kate Kelly, KOAM News.
There's been no change to isolation procedures for those who test positive for COVID. If you're showing symptoms, you're required to isolate for 10 days. If you're not showing symptoms or asymptomatic like Kobe, you're required to isolate for 10 days after the testing date. If symptoms like a fever persist, so does your isolation time. Doug Keddy joining us now with our first look at weather. Really a good day for a Friday to end the work week for many of us, right?
Yeah, it actually turned out to be a pretty good day. We got the sunshine to return after the rain that we had Wednesday and Thursday. Temperatures also warmer after a cold start. 29 this morning, 51 during the afternoon, and pretty much clear skies across the region for us now. And it looks like we'll see clear skies throughout the overnight hours tonight. I do think we're going to get some fog building in, so if you are going to be on the roadways, watch out for that. But if we look out toward the west, nothing's going on. That's our weather over the next couple days. Most of us about 40 to about 42 right now, and I think as we go through the overnight hours, we'll drop back near 30, but we are going to start to get some fog, which is going to build in. So, of course, we're going to look at the weekend forecast and our next storm system here in just a bit.
All right, catch you then, Doug. Thank you. More than 300,000 COVID-19 vaccines are expected to arrive in Missouri later this month, enough to vaccinate all healthcare workers and long-term care residents and staff in the state. KOAM Zach Dodge has details now, so reaction from a local hospital.
We now have a commitment of 339,775 doses of vaccine for initial vaccination.
Department of Health and Senior Services Director Randall Williams breaking big news to reporters during a press call on Friday.
So that's groundbreaking news.
He explains that all of those vaccines will go to healthcare workers and long-term care residents and staff. The distribution plan is complex, so let's focus on the first phase. Williams says an initial shipment of around 50,000 Pfizer vaccines are expected in the state around December 12th. Those will go to 20 different vaccine sites throughout the state for the first set of healthcare workers. Around a week later, 61,000 more Pfizer vaccines will be distributed by Walgreens and CVS to long-term care facilities. Then on December 21st, 105,000 Moderna vaccines will be sent directly to hospitals around the state, like Mercy and Freeman in Joplin.
It's good news. We have processes in place where we can vaccinate our workers very rapidly and very efficiently.
Everybody will be able to get their first shot in that universe of 350,000 in December, if not even in January. and get their second shots either in January or February.
That will conclude Part 1 of Phase 1. Part 2 will then start, more than likely, in February. That will include 3 million essential workers like teachers, critical manufacturing workers, and first responders. Those vaccines will be sent to local health departments, pharmacies, and hospitals throughout the state where essential workers can be vaccinated on site.
They will identify themselves as one of those groups and be vaccinated. That at this point, I do not anticipate one group won't get priority over another.
Zach Dodge, KOAM News.
Williams anticipates moving to vaccinations in the general public by May. The vaccine will be given for free. Now, providers can apply a small administrative fee, but residents won't be turned away if they can't afford that fee. The state is not mandating that healthcare personnel receive the vaccine, but both Freeman and Mercy say they will be highly encouraging vaccinations. Less than 1 week away from the FDA's meeting regarding Pfizer's vaccine candidate and 2 weeks out from a review of Moderna's vaccine. The agency's commissioner says it's possible that if all goes well, immunizations could start before the end of the year, as we've been hearing about. Fox News correspondent Christina Coleman has more.
The U.S. is averaging more than 170,000 new coronavirus infections each day, but there's hope on the vaccine front. Moderna announcing its vaccine has the potential to give longer-term immunity to people. A new study in the New England Journal of Medicine finds the vaccine produced antibodies that remained in participants for at least 3 months. A group of FDA advisors will meet next week to review Pfizer's vaccine and then Moderna the following week. The FDA commissioner says it's possible we could see 20 million people vaccinated this year.
We expect to move very quickly after the Vaccine Advisory Committee. And this group of independent experts will review the data that we provide them.
Nationwide, more than 272,000 people have died from the virus. This comes as a grim new CDC forecast estimates as many as 329,000 fatalities by the end of the year, with some 19,000 during the week of Christmas.
Once the vaccines are authorized, it will be a really critical new tool to bring to the pandemic, and this agency stands strongly behind the efforts of mitigation, of wearing a mask, watching our social distancing.
The pandemic taking its toll on hospitals nationwide. Many health officials concerned over staffing shortages as they struggle to handle a growing number of patients.
Our staff are exhausted. Some of them have gotten sick in the community and are not available for work.
As soon as the vaccine is approved, some 21 million healthcare workers will be eligible. In Los Angeles, Christina Coleman, Fox News.
KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time to honor one of our 4 state heroes. Michael Brodbeck has served in the U.S. Army ever since 1998. Native of Scammon, Kansas, Brodbeck has been stationed overseas. We are proud to thank Sergeant Michael Brodbeck, tonight's 4 state hero. Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast. A bit later in sports, as the Kansas City Chiefs get set to take on the division rival Denver Broncos, the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus, breaks down why December is a special month for the team.
Well, at least we got the sunshine outside today after all the rain that we had on Wednesday night, even snow yesterday morning across the region. Sunshine returned. We're kind of in a boring part of the pattern, at least for about the next week or so. So the weekend looks pretty good. We do have a big storm system, which is going to move in next weekend. Of course, you can get my long-range forecast on my month-long blog, KOAMnewsnow.com. Quite a bit warmer for us today. Lower 40s for highs yesterday with the clouds and the showers, as we did go into lower 50s during the afternoon hours today, which is pretty nice. It's cooling off now. 40 Nevada, Parsons 41. We have Anderson at 43. Miami sitting at 37 degrees. And looking outside from the station, currently sitting at 42. Southwest winds 5 to 10. Humidity is at 65%. But clear skies, nothing is going on here. In fact, it looks like as we work through the overnight hours, we'll continue to see clear skies. I do think we'll get a little bit of fog that builds in a little bit later on tonight. But look out toward the west. Not much going on. That's our weather as we work through the next few days. You can see a little twist in northern parts of Mexico. That system is going to slide to our south. And then a couple little waves across the northern parts of the plains that will drop in, mainly east of us, but also will kind of play havoc with our temperatures, but I think we'll mainly stay dry over the next couple days. So let's go down the road. Watch that little system. Northern parts of Mexico kind of kicks out. right across parts of Oklahoma and Arkansas, but it stays to the south. So there may be showers 100 miles to our south, but we stay dry. And then right behind it, another little system slides in eastern parts of Missouri, but wraps up through the Ohio River Valley. That will cool us down a little bit by late Sunday into Monday. Then we start to warm up. Looks pretty good Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then a storm system comes in on Friday. This will most likely give us rain, but it's the system behind it that could give us rain, ice, maybe even a little bit of snow next Saturday and Sunday. So those are the things we want to keep our eyes on over about the next week. Let's look at tonight into the weekend. We're going to drop back right around 30, 31 degrees for an overnight low. As we go through the morning hours for us tomorrow, we'll start to warm up. We'll burn off any fog that does develop. So 32 to start. We'll warm through the 30s, 40s, near 50 by noon. Then I think we'll top out right around 54. So Saturday looks fantastic. Saturday evening also looks pretty good. We'll drop back into the 30s once again for us by Sunday morning. As we go through the daytime hours on Sunday, partly sunny skies, temperatures a little bit cooler than tomorrow, but still I think we'll make it right around 50. And then a little bit cooler on Sunday night into Monday, but still dry, partly sunny skies as it looks good across the region. So watch out for a little bit of fog tonight. 54 tomorrow, 50 on Sunday, 53 on Monday. And look at the warming trend, mid-60s Wednesday and Thursday before that storm system rolls in next week.
Yeah, I am not looking forward to that potential for ice at all.
Yeah, it's that time of the year. It's December now.
Yeah, I know. I got you. All right, we'll catch you a little bit later. Thank you, Doug.
All right.
Firefighters in Southern California are still working to get the upper hand on a dangerous wildfire burning south of L.A. The bonfire, as it's being called, started at a house fire Wednesday and has now burned about 6,400 acres with only 10% contained. Sadly, at least 2 firefighters have been injured. Coming up, the path toward nationwide legal marijuana.
The House passed a marijuana bill, the first of its kind. I'm Lauren Blanchard on Capitol Hill. What's in the MORE Act and its chances of making it to the president's desk?
The judge is ordering the Trump administration to allow new DACA applicants. DACA, or the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, protects undocumented immigrants who came to the U.S. as children from deportation. The judge ruled that acting Homeland Secretary of Security Chad Wolf was not legally serving in his position when he signed rules limiting DACA applications, also renewals. A marijuana bill, the first of its kind, passed the Democratic-controlled House today. The MORE Act decriminalizes weed at the federal level, but not all Democrats and Republicans agree with it. Fox News correspondent Lauren Blanchard has more from Capitol Hill.
On this vote, the yeas are 228, the nays are 164. The bill is passed.
Passed in the House of Representatives, the Marijuana Opportunity Reinvestment and Expungement Act, or the MORE Act, passed mostly along party lines, with 5 Republicans voting for it and 6 Democrats voting against it. It would decriminalize weed at a federal level, which right now is a Schedule I drug like heroin and ecstasy, but it does not change state laws.
The MORE Act is an important step forward towards more enlightened policy.
The MORE Act would provide assistance to communities that have been hardest hit by the war on drugs, instate a 5% tax on cannabis products, and give funding to small businesses. It also will begin the process of expunging convictions for federal offenses.
It can't be socially acceptable behavior in some neighborhoods and criminal conduct in other neighborhoods when the dividing line is race.
But opponents say the legislation will open the door to more drug violence and endanger community safety if people drive while high. According to a Gallup poll released just after the election, 68% of Americans now believe marijuana should be legalized. Following the election, 15 states plus D.C. have fully legalized the drug. 36 and the nation's capital allow it for medicinal purposes.
My Republican colleagues today will make a number of arguments against this bill, but those arguments are overwhelmingly losing with the American people.
While the bill passed in the House, it is likely to go nowhere in the currently Republican-controlled Senate. On Capitol Hill, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Just ahead, a possible new type of coronavirus test.
Those uncomfortable COVID swab tests could be a thing of the past. A Texas company is working on a new breathalyzer test. I'm Grady Trimble with Fox Business. The details ahead.
A new breathalyzer from a company in Texas might detect COVID-19 in a minute or less. Fox Business Network's Grady Trimble has more.
For most people getting tested for COVID, an uncomfortable swab test has been the method so far, not to mention the long wait times. But they could soon be a thing of the past, thanks to a state-of-the-art device called Worlds Protect. It's a collaboration with the Dallas-based company Worlds Inc., Texas A&M University, and the U.S. Air Force. It works when someone uses a disposable straw to blow into the machine. It tests for specific compounds the body generates when fighting COVID-19. Results will be sent to their phone in seconds.
You blow at it, for literally like 5 seconds, blow at the system, and in less than a minute, you're going to get a result, right? And so the goal is to put that on a cell phone.
For now, the prototype isn't being used to diagnose someone with COVID, but it's more of a screening system to let you know if you should get tested. It's been deployed to hospitals and Air Force bases, and so far, the company that makes the device says it's accurate, comparable to a PCR swab test, the gold standard for diagnosing COVID-19.
The goal is to be diagnostic and longer, right? Not only for COVID, but other diseases as well.
The company also says it's working to get emergency approval from the FDA within the next few months. In Bryan, Texas, Grady Trimble, Fox Business.
Amazing science right there. All right, a continuing tradition for the Santa Claus, currently in Japan right now, apparently. Gonna check this one out when we come back. Shani going for a swim at a Tokyo aquarium. A diver dressed as Old Saint Nick. I can't believe I just read that because I thought this was the real guy. Apparently it's just, a diver dressed as him. Welcoming in the holiday season, swimming in a tank with rays, banana fish, also a zebra shark. Santa even taking time out to feed the fish with a bazooka feeder. That's awesome. The aquarium has hosted the Santa Claus diver for more than 20 years, much to the delight of hundreds each year. Santa Claus going for a swim with the fishes, still alive afterward. Some of you will get the two meanings behind that. 30 more minutes, news, weather, and sports coming your way.
After 38 years, the body of a missing Webb City, Missouri girl has been identified in Jackson County, Mississippi. Details are coming up.
Well, let's go check out a tree lighting ceremony in Nevada, Missouri, a tree that also honors loved ones who've recently passed away. Plus, his name is Jack. He's a simple donkey, helping the Salvation Army do extraordinary things this holiday season. Earlier today, the sheriff in Jackson County, Mississippi, shed some light on a local mystery. He announced that the body of a Webb City girl who went missing almost 38 years ago has been identified. KOM's Mike Mahoney has these details.
This is a picture of Alicia Ann Heinrich, taken around the age of 1. For the last 38 years, her Webb City, Missouri family thought she was missing but still alive, until investigators in Mississippi told them about their discovery based off of DNA genealogy tests.
The family was extremely overwhelmed. They had no idea. They were still under the assumption that Alicia was alive and living somewhere.
Jackson County, Mississippi Sheriff Mike Azell says, back in 1982, an 18-month-old baby's body was found on the banks of the Escatawpa River, but her identity could not be determined. He says drivers reported seeing a woman walking with a baby near the highway before the body was found, and that investigators think that woman was Gwendolyn Clemens, Alicia's mother.
She's never been discovered, or found, or located, so this is an ongoing active investigation.
The investigation may be ongoing, but Sheriff Azell isn't optimistic that Gwendolyn is alive.
She hasn't been heard of since Thanksgiving of '82. We're assuming the worst, but we don't know that for sure.
Investigators do have a suspect in Alicia and Gwendolyn's deaths, but they say he's no longer alive and won't release his name as they continue to investigate.
She told her family members she was going with him to start a new life down in Florida. And so, shortly after, when he returned, they weren't with him.
The sheriff made it clear that he didn't think Gwendolyn harmed Alicia, and that he hopes Friday's press conference will get the attention of other law enforcement agencies who may be able to help locate Gwendolyn. I'm Mike Mahoney for KOAM News.
We did reach out to some of Alicia and Gwendolyn's relatives in the area for comments, but have not gotten a response back from them. The Nevada Regional Medical Center today hosted their annual lighting of the Tree of Shining Memories. The tree has been a tradition ever since 1993 and is used as a fundraiser for the NRMC Foundation. For every $10 donated to the foundation, a light is going to be placed on the tree.
I know that it just keeps that memory alive. It feels like, that person that you're missing is with you. It was really touching for me. There's names of my family members on that list, and after hearing that song, it's hard not to tear up and get through the list.
The Tree of Shining Memories is on the southeast corner of the Vernon County Courthouse lawn. All right, it's time for another appearance of Jack the Bible Donkey. Were those his socks? I caught the very beginning of it, but I couldn't see if those were donkey legs I was seeing. Those were. Oh my gosh, that is awesome. Jack helps the Pittsburgh Salvation Army every year with its Red Kettle campaign. I love those socks. I love that donkey. Today, we had the honor of seeing Jack over at Applebee's.
When he's ringing the bell and somebody hands me the camera and says, "Can I take a picture?" kind of makes me laugh. It's cute.
It is cute. Jack the Bible Donkey will continue helping the Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign through December 19th. A bit later, talks continuing over a new stimulus deal.
Lawmakers in Washington are talking about getting another round of coronavirus stimulus passed sometime next week. I'm Ray Bogan with a look at where negotiations stand coming up.
Well, at least we got the sunshine back for us today after some fog during the morning hours and then mostly sunny skies throughout the afternoon hours, which you can see on our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Nice shot of the sun setting. But yeah, after all the rain we had over the past couple days, some thick fog throughout the morning, which you can see. And then finally, well, it's Friday. It's going to be a good Friday, any Friday. And most of the weekend looks pretty good. We're kind of in a little bit of a boring part of the pattern. We do have a big storm system, which will start to roll in by next weekend. So we're going to keep our eyes on that. Of course, you can always get my long-range forecast on my month-long blog. That is KOAMnewsnow.com. Significantly warmer for us today, about 10 degrees warmer across all the four-state area, as we only went into lower 40s yesterday, lower 50s for us throughout the afternoon hours. Kind of cool. Right now, Yates Center at 40, 37 in Indy, 37 in Bonita. Pittsburgh is sitting at 39, Cassville at 39, Anderson is sitting at 37 degrees. So looking off toward the east from the station, 42, southerly winds at about 5 to 10. Our humidity is at 65%. We could get a little bit of patchy fog in here late tonight, but most of the overnight hours look pretty good. Clear skies behind the storm system that rolled through, of course, over the past couple days. And look out toward the west. There's not too much going on. So that means we're going to be pretty quiet, at least over the next couple days. Now, just south of El Paso, you can see that little twist. There's a weak wave, but it's mainly going to stay to our south. To our north, near Winnipeg, we have another little wave that's going to rotate south by Sunday, but it's going to mainly stay to our east. In fact, we can check both of these out. Look at the little twist all the way out through parts of Texas. Gives us a few clouds by Sunday, but it looks like any rain will mainly stay south of the region. Then you can see that next system drop in by St. Louis. We're on the backside, so we're going to stay dry, but it will cool us down just a little bit. Nice warm up next week, and then our next storm system will start to roll in late Thursday into Friday. This is going to be the first of two systems. The second system, the bigger system, rolls out late Saturday into Sunday, and this will give us at least a potential to get some winter weather. Cold tonight will drop back right around 30 degrees. Again, there's a slight chance there could be a little bit of patchy fog. As we go through the morning hours, any fog that would develop would burn off. Sunny skies, we warm through the 30s, we warm through the 40s, near 50 by noon. And I think most of us will top out right around 54 during the afternoon hours. So Saturday looks great. Let's go into tomorrow night. Still pretty much clear skies. We'll drop back into the 30s once again. And then as we work into the daytime hours on Sunday, I think we'll have mostly sunny skies. Maybe a hair cooler, but still a fantastic day. 54 tomorrow, 50 on Sunday. We'll look at the warming trend into the mid-60s ahead of our next storm system that rolls in by next Friday.
Wow. And yeah, that weekend does look pretty good tomorrow and Sunday. Doug, thank you. Coming up in sports, the Lamar Tigers looking to add another state football title to their collection. Plus, the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Olthus, explains why December is a special month for those reigning Super Bowl champions.
Well, tonight is the night for the Lamar Tigers. Lamar plays for a state championship this evening, facing the St. Pius Warriors out of Kansas City. Now, a win tonight give the Tigers their 8th state championship, put them back at the top of Missouri Class II for the first time since 2017. Scoreless in the second. Lamar defense going to work. Third down, Trace Wilhite bringing the pressure, gets the sack. Warriors forced to punt. Now, ensuing Lamar drive, it's 4th down. Case Tucker pushing his way through, converts to move the chains. And a few plays later, we got another 4th and short. It's Tucker again. First down to move the chains. However, Tigers unable to get in the end zone. We are still scoreless. Late in the first half, Mosh gets brought down by Rylan Wooldridge. All defense in the first half. It's scoreless at the break. Now, this is the play that did it. Down 3-0 in the third. Check it out, a little trickery. Joel B. Short of Mason Gastel. Right in stride. Gastel in for the 74-yard score. That's it. That's all they needed. Lamar back on top of Missouri Class II. Tigers take the title 6-3. On the basketball court, we have a little interstate matchup tonight in Joplin. The Eagles host the Pittsburgh Purple Dragons. Joplin 1-0 coming in. It's the first game of the season for Pittsburgh. First quarter, Carson Wampler knocks down the 3 for the Eagles. Other end, dude is nasty. Javon Grant and the foul. He had a big first half. Joplin up 4 after 1. The second quarter, more from Grant, burying the 3 there. Grant had 20 in the first half, 34 for the game. Micah Bruggeman doing work on senior night for Joplin. 3 ball there. Then final seconds of the first half, Dom Simmons beats the buzzer with the floater. 6-point Joplin lead at half. Now this one stayed tight, but Joplin tops Pittsburgh tonight 61-60. The Kansas City Chiefs will face the Denver Broncos on Sunday night, aiming for their 7th straight win. The voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus, tells us why December has been a pretty special month for the Chiefs recently in this week's Minute with Mitch.
3 months ago on the Minute with Mitch, I talked about how good the Chiefs have been in September under Andy Reid. There's a common battle cry in the NFL: start fast, but finish strong. Well, a look at the past 5 Decembers is nothing short of remarkable. The Kansas City Chiefs record is 20 wins and 4 losses the past 5 Decembers, the best in the NFL. And that includes a 13-1 record against the AFC West. A big December in 2016 wrapped up Andy Reid's first of 4 straight division titles. 2017, 5 December wins, salvaged the season and won the division. 2018, another division title, and Patrick Mahomes' first December as starting quarterback. And last year, a 5-0 December secured a bye and a run to the Super Bowl. This week, it's the Broncos, and it's December. Start fast, finish strong on this Minute with Mitch. The Minute with Mitch is brought to you by Como Jewelry. Every day's game day, Como Jewelry, Pittsburgh, Joplin.
And that Chiefs-Broncos game will kick off at 7:20 p.m. Sunday night in Kansas City. That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.